Hey y'all, it is your girl Lady V. Y'all see, I'm trying to get serious about this podcast, right? So I am coming to you with another recorded podcast uh of A Long Walk in High Heels. This is a podcast for women and the men who care about women. So we are not going to ignore the obvious. Y'all see, I'm trying to be a little serious about this podcast. Yes, I am. I got my lighting. I'm not sure if it's right or not. You can see me, but I can also see a shadow. And I don't think we should, but that's okay. It's just me, my mic, my laptop, and my light. And I'm just here, y'all. Just here. But this is what I thought about. So, a long walk in high heels for those, if this is your first time, if this is your first time seeing me, seeing this podcast, it is a podcast for women or men who care about women or care about women's issues. So that's what this podcast is about. Um, I was thinking today about our kids, those little ones that we care for. And this is what I thought on on the table up front. If you had a kid with some troubling behaviors or some mental health issues. And I'm talking about a kid. I'm talking about your kid, whether it's your adopted kid or your bio kid, or maybe guess what? It's just a kid that you're around. It could be not a student. I wouldn't go that far because I don't think it's I think a teacher would be out of bounds, overstepping boundaries. But um maybe a relative. So if you had a kid that you are around on a regular basis, you know this kid, you're familiar with this kid's behavior or this kid's temperament, or and you see that this kid has troubling behavior, like for real. Not just, oh, I wouldn't put up with that, or oh, he need a whooping. Not just that. Some troubling behaviors. And I'm gonna give you a few examples. Um, or if you felt like it could possibly be some mental health issues, which I would say, if you did see a kid with troubling behaviors, there probably are some mental health things going on as well, or some severe trauma. Anyway, another podcast. What do you do? What do you do? And I ask not because and this is nothing to do with me. Um, I'm a foster parent, so but it has nothing to do with me, but or any kid that I'm taking care of. But I do want to know, like, what as a mom, what do you do? Or an aunt, however you say it, or a very close friend. What do you do? What do you say something? Do you say something to the mom? Do you say something to who do you say something to? Or do you say nothing at all? That's the question on the table. I I honestly think that most of us say nothing. No, most of us don't have a word to say. I think not just the stigma of it, more probably the stigma, but okay, so let me give you an example. Let me give you some examples because this is nothing that, again, it's not personal to me. My children are adults, and they are law abiding, functioning in society adults. So this is not to say I'm in no way am I saying, oh, my kids are perfect. No, I'm not saying that. Um, but I'm not talking about them, and nor am I talking about any kids in my home. But I'm a foster parent, and I've seen and I've heard I've seen things and I've heard stories. So I'll just give you a few examples. So If you know that your kid is a your kid will hurt an animal, okay? What do you do? If you've seen your kid hurt Fido intentionally, what do you do? But of course, you jump in at the moment and you correct the behavior. You correct, redirect, or whatever your form of discipline might be. Of course, you do that. You don't just stand back and be like, "Oh, look at Johnny. He's pulling Fido's tail, or he's plucking fur one by one." You're not gonna sit back and do that. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is after you stepped in, because most of us as adults, and I brought up the animal, the harming of animals, because um, most people know that that is like almost that's a precursor to. It's not funny, but it is a precursor to. They say serial killers. You know, so if you know that as a parent and you see this behavior from your child or a child that you know that you're around, you're close to, a nephew, a niece, whatever. What do you do? Do you say something? Do you try to address it? Do you go for therapy? Do you hide that? Because I can say that I think, honestly, I think if it was me, I think I would try to hide it. I think I would try to not so much hide it. I think I would um definitely seek professional help for my child, but under the the disguise of something else. And then maybe it'll come up, or maybe the therapist will ask the question and I'll be able to say yes, or my kid will be able to say, oh, the one time, and then it will be addressed. I just think that it's a shame. It's shame. It's embarrassment that keeps us from getting our own children the help that they need. Um, I'm going to now pivot just a bit and speak about the African American community. We have for a long time, I know since I was a little girl, and I'm sure since before that. I can remember my mom saying things like, "Oh, we just didn't talk about those things." Really? And look at us now. You know, we think we've come through okay. We think we've come through unscathed, but that's not true. Um, I can remember that, and it's almost a running joke, but it's not a joke, and it was real. That when we had family members that were not quite right, um, we put them away in a room in the house. Whole family was there, and Uncle Pete, Uncle John, Uncle Sam, Uncle whoever, Aunt Millie. Oh, she ain't quite right in the head. So we put them away, in a room, and we feed them, and they come out every now and then for Christmas. We go, you know, when family come, we go dress them up and let them come out and sit, right? Um, but we never got them help. Never got them help. Just not quite right in the head. But what if they are not? Because back then, those family members were, I don't want to say comatose, but they were just quiet, sitting in the corner, just not quite right. That's kind of how we described them. Just not quite right, not hurting anybody, just can't function, not in the community, not in society, really, just in the house, in the room, right? But what about the kids now? What about um what about our kids? What about our kids, right? What about the kids that are um right now? If we see something, would we say something? Would we address it? And that's my question. Um, I just don't think we do. I think in if we do or when we do, I think we try to disguise it as something else. I think we try to say, "Oh, he's just a little rambunctious," or "She's just, she has a vivid imagination." When it could very well be some mental health issues or trauma, or either way, because I don't know if I've said this yet, but um, I had a I had a psychiatric social worker one once tell me that trauma can mimic psychosis. You hear that? Trauma can mimic psychosis. So, and then just a big old another story that I had a clinician to say, a behavioral skills clinician tell me like, "Oh, she broke." I'm like, what do you mean by that?" She's like, "She broke. Whatever happened to her, her psyche couldn't hold it. And because her psyche couldn't hold it, she broke. She broke away from reality, right? She broke away from reality. So now she's living in this realm of non reality. And guess what that looks like? Psychosis. But it all stems from trauma. Anyway, another episode, I promise. Um, but what do we do when it's our kid? When we catch our kid doing something? When do you tell somebody? Do you tell your family member? Do you tell your best friends? Because now your best friend don't want her kid around your kid. Do you tell family members? Because now your sister doesn't want, oh, you can't come over here. You don't, you know. Um, who do you tell? Who do you tell? And then even more important than that, even more scary than that is kicking them out. No tolerance for it. No grace. Just get out. Because the thing that you found out, the thing that he did, the thing that she did is so egregious to you and to the husband, the dad, and to the family, then now you have to go. Okay, so we're not gonna, maybe if they broke the law, maybe if what it was illegal, or it was um prosecutable. I know it's probably not a word, but it was able to be prosecuted. Maybe you didn't do that. Maybe you didn't go that far. Maybe your love wouldn't let you go that far. And maybe you just said, you got to go. And so now you got a kid on the street. Y'all know that's not good. So, ladies, what do you do? It's a hard one. It really is. I remember having a conversation years and years ago. My son is, I'm 20, we're 20 years apart. Um, and I don't remember how old he was, but I know we had a conversation, and the conversation was about if he had ever done, like, committed a crime. And he wanted to know, like, would I turn him in? And I remember vividly looking him in the face and saying, yes, I would. I would stand by you through thick and thin. I would be there for you, and I would go to the depths of hell. with you. We do it together. That was then, y'all, because it wouldn't be now. It wouldn't be now. Uh, and I say it wouldn't be now because of the climate in this country. If and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. If if my son had done something that committed a crime and it was thought that maybe he would go to court and get a fair trial or go to court and like it was like, oh, he might be able to beat that, like it, yeah, that's justifiable or whatever, you know what I mean? Baby, get your passport because you out here, and I mean that. Just not right now. This is not the climate for it in this country. And don't get me wrong, my son is almost 40, so hopefully he wouldn't be in that predicament. But if he was a young guy and he was out in, even now, but if it wouldn't, I wouldn't, I would not, I would not put him, I just wouldn't roll those dice and hoping for a good outcome. I wouldn't, I would not. So as moms, and I keep saying boys, it's girls as well. It is girls as well. The girls are they coming up just as short as the boys nowadays. I remember I worked in a correctional facility. It was it wasn't like a jail. It was community based correctional facility. It was a therapeutic community. It was designed to correct behaviors. A lot of it was substance. A lot of our residents were substance abusers. Um, some had like committed crimes or maybe was selling drugs. And some of the young guys had recognized, okay, y'all built this jail for the judge's kids and the lawyer's kids and the doctor kids and the politicians' kids who are now on drugs, who are now getting on drugs. That's who y'all built this for. But it opened the door for some of the young guys, young drug dealers, to take advantage of the program and not go to prison. So that's what they were doing. Some of them were legitimate cases where, kind of second chance type thing for drug abusers. So, but I remember we had a young lady come through there, and her boyfriend were on drugs so bad that they had gone it was either into like a pharmacy to steal drugs or a bank to rob a bank. It was one of the other. Why this little girl shooting at the police? Shooting at the police. She lived. They shot her in the leg. She lived. Um, Bonnie and Clyde. Some of these girls is coming up shorter than the guys. I hate to say it. Just as tough, just as rough out here in these streets, doing the do. But not to put everything on drugs, but like did mom, did dad, anybody see any of that coming? You know? That's the question. Did you see any of it coming? Because you don't just get to be, I know drugs make you do anything. They do. We saw that in the black community. We saw it with cocaine. Um, but I just wonder, like some of these kids, a lot of these kids. a lot of them. And I see them in the classrooms, but even the young adults, you know, what did you see? What did you see as a parent that you did you see something as a parent that you ignored? Um, I often think about this. Um, I used to have me and Mister used to have a conversation about, you know, when we were little and like coming up as teenagers, and people were like, "Oh, he crazy, he crazy, she crazy, she be tripping, she," right? He was crazy for real, and she was too. You know, so it's the behaviors. It's right there. It's right there in plain sight. Sometimes, and when it's hidden, it's not hidden from everybody. It's not hidden from everybody. Somebody knows about it, just haven't said anything. You know, I can remember, she crazy. She, I can remember thinking back, being in middle school, uh, high school, girls that were, we used to come fast, or just very seemed provocative or sexual, the way they dressed and whatever. At 17, really? What's going on there? You know? What's going on there? Boys that uh I don't know. I don't even want to say hypersexual. But what do you do as a mom when you see your kid with some strange behavior that you know is not right? What do you do? Do you ignore it? Do you talk to them? Do you give them a chance to explain and pray it don't happen again? But you know it was so strange that you probably should say something. But you talk to him, and Johnny said he's not going to do it again. He said he's never done it before. He won't do it again. Do you just take him at his word? Do you keep checking in on him? Do you get him some help from the start? Okay, you talked to him and he said he wasn't going to do it. Do you go back? Say, I want you to talk to somebody about that, because that was a little disturbing for me, right? Do you do that? Do you let him talk to somebody anyway? Or do you just let him be? Act like it didn't happen? This is a question as moms that we have to face, we have to answer, you know? Because these are our kids, our grandkids, our nephews, nieces, our yeah, great nieces, our sister's grandbaby, the neighbor's son, the neighbor's grandson. And I'm keep saying kids, but my age group of women, we are grandparents at this point. I'm not, but you might. We're grandparents at this point. What do you do? It's hard. It's a hard decision. What do you do? What do you do? And it's baffling for me, because I know we won't correct the behavior that's not strange, that should be corrected. We'll, as moms, And I don't know why I'm down on the boys right now. Sorry, y'all. But as moms, oh, I'll get to the girls too. As moms, we will entertain two or three women that our sons bring home. One, you know, one Friday. We brought another one to church on Sunday. And then you had one drop your clothes off on Tuesday. And we'll entertain all of them. We won't even correct that behavior. Our daughters, let's talk about them. Know good and well. She giving them babies Tylenol at night. Know good and well she giving them something. The new thing. The new is melatonin. Giving them melatonin. Put them to sleep. While she gonna entertain in the club. While she's sneaking out to go be with the guy. We know what's happening. We won't even correct that behavior. Something strange from a kid? Our kids? Our grands? We're not gonna. What about that something strange? That one thing that you know should be addressed. But you also know you opening up a can of worms when you do. Do you address it, ladies? Do you address it? I hope so. Because we deserve it. The kids deserve it. Because the deeper I get into this little thing called trauma, the deeper I get into it, the it gets. Bigger it gets. Which lets me know like there's no end to it. Um, we all are suffering from it. Everybody. Because it keeps coming. Keeps coming. And one little thing for me could be a big thing for you, and I'm wondering if anybody has mental health issues, or if we are just suffering the effects of trauma. I really am. Because like the clinician said, her psyche couldn't hold it. She had that. She broke. She escaped reality. Guess what? It's like this. It's we've all heard and seen or whatever, been privy to in my age group. Oh, they came home from Vietnam. He was never the same. They came home from Desert Storm. Was never the same. But you know what they saw over there, right? You know what was happening. You do understand that they was over there killing kids, like obliterating kids with gunshots and but the big ones, whatever. You know what I mean, the big ones. No, they ain't the same. No, ain't the same at all. Came back on drugs. They had to do them drugs from what they saw, what they was doing. Vietnam. They came back, they wasn't the same. I got friends that was in Desert Storm. Came back, they weren't the same. Trauma. Trauma. And people running around here talking about, oh, they trauma bonded. Like it's cute. Like it's something. But when you think about trauma and you bonding that with somebody else's trauma, who you better go find you a therapist. You better go get your baby that's doing that strange thing some help. As quiet as you have to be to do it. Do it quietly if you have to. If you, I guarantee you, it's a support group out there. Yeah, guarantee it. Do it quietly. But get your kids some help. Get your grandbaby some help. And help don't always come easy. Sometimes, sometimes help come in the form of a phone call to them folks. And I ain't talking about the police, the mental health professionals. What do you do when you know a kid that has some unusual behaviors? What do you do? This your girl, Lady V. This is a recorded podcast. A long walk in high heels. What do you do when a kid around you, a young person around you, a person around you has unusual behaviors? Until next time,